right here in Palmetto Bay. And today we're talking with Crystal Van Orsdel from Van Orsdel Crematory and Funeral Services. I had the pleasure of working with Crystal for almost a year with them, so I got to know her business inside and out. But I wanted to introduce you to her because she's actually the fourth generation director of this company. So, Crystal, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and of course, your company?
I'm Crystal Van Orsdel. I'm the fourth generation of Van Orsdel Funeral and Cremation Services in Miami, Florida. And we started back in 1924, so we've been in business for 97 years.
Wow.
We have 3 locations, one in Midtown Miami, Coral Gables, and Kendall. And like I said, we're family owned, and I'm the first woman.
That's awesome, especially for Women's History Month. This is a great day to feature your business.
Yes.
And because you're a family-owned business, your sister works in the business, your mother, the father, everybody is just a floral business, correct?
Yes.
So you really cover all the aspects of the end-of-life process.
Yes.
What is it about Van Orsdel that sets you apart from everybody else?
Well, we like to create healing experiences. It's for us, it's not just about selling a casket or an urn. It's about really taking time to honor life in a way that's meaningful for the family. And we have a lot of unique ways to do that. It could be something really simple for the family, or it can be a huge celebration of life. And some people even make it into a party celebrating. So we're very unique. My grandfather always told us, take care of the families and the money will take care of itself. And since we're family owned, we have the luxury of being able to do that. And that's what we do.
You have some really great spaces to have these groups come together, both indoor and outdoor. I learned a lot about your business this past year, about the eternal wreaths and the biotree. I mean, those are some really innovative things that, I had no idea that there were so many options.
Yeah.
Can you speak about how you've kind of pushed the business forward and new innovative things like that?
Yeah, something really innovative that we're doing is eco-friendly options. And a lot of funeral homes are actually shying down from this and don't want to talk about it, but we embrace that. And so we have natural burials, and the closest cemetery for that is actually in Gainesville, Florida. So we can go all the way up to there. And everything is completely natural. I mean, there can't even be a piece of metal or anything. It has to all be biodegradable. And another really unique way is eternal wreaths, which you saw yourself when you went. So basically, the cremated remains are mixed in with eco-friendly cement mixture. And that creates a artificial wreath that is then placed at the bottom of the ocean. And over time, sea life starts growing on it. Fish start making it their home. And with all the reef destruction, that's going on, you're actually creating a living, lasting memorial with cremated remains.
It becomes like part of the ecosystem.
Yes. And the company is called Eternal Wreaths. They can do it for you, but most families want to be part of it because it's part of a healing experience, being part of it. And so families are there mixing the cremated remains. They can put their handprints in it. They can write a little message, put seashells, anything they want, and be part of the entire process. Even go out on the boat and watch the reef get dropped to the bottom of the ocean.
It's such a South Florida thing, right?
Yes. And a lot of questions that people have is, can husband and wife go into one? Yes. You can even add your pets. And can it be visited later on? Yes. People go scuba diving and visit, and there's a bronze plaque with the person's name and dates and an inscription. So it's really great in every way. It's really helping the environment and creating a lasting memorial.
Yeah, that's such a nice tribute to someone.
Yes, and it's same thing with the biotree urn that you got to see as well. The biotree urn is an urn where we put the cremated remains inside the urn, and that gets planted and eventually becomes a tree. And what makes it special is that the urn has a special way that it's built and soil that helps balance the pH of the cremated remains so that the tree actually grows.
Wow.
So, and another way of creating a living, lasting memorial.
Yeah.
So I really like that. We have a lot of unique ways of memorializing people. We also have a service that for every family, we take fingerprints for free, and you get a PIN number that you can order mementos, jewelry with your loved one's fingerprint.
Okay.
And that's really special as
Really
well.
taking your loved one with you then.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
well, we can't talk about end of life today without addressing the elephant in the room. We've had obviously a very morbid last year, a lot of traumatic experiences. So without getting into much detail about the whole process, but I know your business was really challenged at the height of things. Can you talk a little bit about some of the challenges that you had to push through this past year?
Yes. Unfortunately, at the beginning of the whole COVID crisis, we had to help a lot of hospitals that were reaching capacity, and we did build a whole refrigeration system to help hospitals. We had to implement measures in our funeral home to limit the amount of people, social distancing. We also, even though we had these things before, we had to roll them out at a larger scale, live streaming, e-signing documents,
The
meetings.
technology component, right?
Exactly. I actually, we always were live streaming in our facilities, but I had to do a special live streaming at a cemetery for a person that was high risk, and she couldn't have anybody else be there. So she was there alone at the cemetery with me, and I was live streaming, and all of her family was on Zoom there supporting her for her husband.
Wow.
And they were adding comments and everything. So we really had to find ways to help families be able to have closure during this difficult time. Another thing that was surprising to some people want their loved one to be returned to their country, and some countries were not accepting people who passed away from COVID. So that was very difficult too, having to work with that, finding other options for families. But we've learned a lot throughout the
Sure.
process.
And because of all these challenges, what do you think are you going to keep in your business model moving forward? I mean, we all
Yeah.
had to learn Zoom.
Yeah,
So,
definitely. Like I said, we always had live streaming because there was always people in other countries that needed to watch the funeral, but it wasn't very often. Now, almost 90% of the funerals are live streamed, and I think that that's going to be very common now and just a standard. It really allows a lot of people to be part of the funeral service that couldn't be there. I think it's really special. Another thing is online arrangements. We have that availability on our website. A lot of funeral homes don't have that at all. They want to meet with the family. We can meet with you. We can even talk on the phone if you have questions, but we make it really simple to do it all online as well. So that's something to stay to, so that families have that option of whatever they prefer.
if I can say so, I think with you really leading the company the last couple of years, you've really taken the technology to a
Yes.
whole new level. Not only the innovative ways that you're celebrating life. Can you also talk a little bit about if someone like me is looking at, down the road, if I wanted to organize something ahead of time so that I have more control over what happens, what's the process for that? I think you call it pre-planning.
Yes. So we have pre-planning counselors that can help you through, give you all the options. You can also go online as well and see a lot of the options are available. We really encourage that for our families because it's really good emotionally and financially. You don't want to be in a situation where um, mom or dad passes away and you don't know if they preferred burial or cremation, or if they wanted something simple or something big. And unfortunately, a lot of times we see families arguing over that when they should be grieving. And it's just simple to have that talk with your spouse or your parents before and discuss, what is it that you wanted? What were your final wishes? What would be special and meaningful for you? So we encourage that. And all of that can be done either online or in person with a counselor. And we can record it all and keep a file at our funeral home. Now, another step in that would be to prepay it. And the benefit of that is that we actually lock in the price.
There you go.
So, yeah. So whatever price you pay today stays. And if you pass away 20, 30 years from now, that doesn't change. So families have seen thousands of dollars in savings. So
That's great. Especially for type A personalities like myself that like to plan.
Yeah.
It's got to be amazing.
Yes.
So I'm going to bring it back a little bit to business because it's Women's History Month as well. You're a young businesswoman. What would you advise women in business these days, a piece of advice that you could offer?
I would always advise to embrace change, to not resist change, to embrace it, embrace what consumers want, what your customers want, because at the end of the day, that's what your business is here for, to have a solution to help people. And so I always want to, I think it's best to embrace the change and make the changes, even if it's hard sometimes.
Yeah, I echo that sentiment. I think you have to be where your customers are. And if your customers are on Zoom because
Yes.
of outside forces, then it's really important that your business moves with them.
Yes.
So I think that's a great piece. How long has your family been involved with Palmetto Bay Business Association? Do you know?
I think as long as it opens.
I think it's
Yeah.
Yeah, and Grant from Community Newspapers actually started Palmetto Bay Business Association many years ago. So we thank you for your loyalty and your membership for these many years, and I look forward to really seeing what you guys are going to be doing in the next couple of years.
Thank you.
With your leadership.
Thank you so much.
Crystal Van Orsdel from Van Orsdel Funeral